Hi everyone, I'm Michelle. Welcome back to my channel. This week I have a very light little bouncy, flirty, loose waved bob to show you. This is Sage by Estetica in Caramel Kiss. As always, if you wouldn't mind liking, commenting, and subscribing below, and we'll get started. So Sage is, as I said, a very light, wonderful summer style. I'm looking forward to styling her a little because the stock photos that I saw didn't have this going on the side here. I know it's a wavy style, and so I'm really a little bit torn because there are two ways we could go with this. I could make it curlier. I could use some sea salt spray and scrunch it, or I could try to make it a little more smooth and sleek, which is kind of my tendency to prefer that, and use a hot air brush and just relax some of these curls a little so that I'm getting more of a smooth look on this side rather than these flippy waves. So yeah, I want to just style her a little bit, but before I do that, I do want to show you some of the features and do a spin so that you can see it before I have done anything to the wig. Other than, I will say I did, change the part. I steamed it away from my face a little bit. There's a piece of silicone tape under here. And in the back, there was one little clump of fibers that was hanging down that was longer than everything else, so I gave that a little snip and trimmed that just a little bit. So let me go ahead and show you the features. So here we have the lace front, and it is really well done. I don't have a lot of experience with Estetica, so I'm excited to get to know this brand a little bit better, and I'm very impressed with that lace front, even though this is a brunette color with highlighting. I think it's very realistic looking. The part line also, I think, is done very well. So let's go ahead and take a look at her from all sides. Here she is from the right, and the back, and the left. And it just feels so light, I have to say. I'm very excited about this wig as an option for the hotter summer months. If you don't want to wear a ponytail, this is a great little light, no fuss style to wear in the heat and just throughout the day, just everyday wig. I do want to mention that there is a little bit of permatease, and I typically try to avoid permatease, but it's really not very noticeable. You still have all these very natural features with the mono part and lace front, and I think with the waves and this style, I do think that little bit of permatease actually adds a nice amount of volume and allows this style to kind of keep its shape. So I don't mind the bit of permatease that's in this at all. So next, we'll look at the cap construction, do some styling options, and take her outside. Okay, so here we have the cap construction. First, I'll remove this piece of silicone tape that I've applied here, and I did put a little powder on that part line as well to create a natural scalp appearance. So ignore the powder residue you're seeing here. We have a lace front. You have a left mono part. As I mentioned, there's a little permatease. Really not too noticeable, but if you kind of feel it here, you can feel there's a little permatease. You have your ear tabs with the metal stays inside. You do have an extended nape, so that's wonderful for coverage. You have these hook adjusters that you can detach here and move over to tighten or loosen based on your circumference. And you have the open wefted back here. Let's test the stretchiness. Nice and stretchy, yep. So that's the cap construction. It's really very light and comfortable and has all the important features, the lace front and the mono part. At least to my mind, those are the important features. So wonderful cap. All right, so as I mentioned earlier, I do want to change this curl pattern just a little bit on this right side. I love how it looks on this side. I think you get these little loose waves and it just looks very perky. I mentioned before the Estetica sea salt spray. This is something that I do want to give a try at some point. I have seen some videos, and I think that can be wonderful for kind of getting your curls back if the wig has kind of straightened out a little bit. But in this case, I think I would rather smooth these and have it kind of curl under a little bit more than it's doing right now. So let's go ahead and give that a try. Now, this is a synthetic wig, but you can use a hot air brush on this as long as you keep the tool moving. And I have my Hot Tools Professional hot air brush here, and I'll leave a description below where you can purchase this. So I'm going to turn that to high, and we'll just start working on this side together. Here we go. Let it warm up just a little bit. All right. I've been excited to do this ever since I first tried this wig on. So just running it through and curling it under a bit. Just do a little bit at a time. You can recurl a wig that you've smoothed out like this, but it's a little bit complicated, so I would rather do a little bit at a time and not have to do that, not have to recurl it. Do the ends here a little bit. It works pretty quickly with this hot air brush, I have to say. Okay, so I did just a little bit more work with my hot air brush, and I want to show you what I discovered. Even though we did make it quite a bit smoother before, I wasn't liking how straight it was looking, and I wanted it to bend a little more inward. So let me show you what I did to get it to look like this. Have it back on high. Basically, it's the same as using a curling iron on a heat-friendly synthetic. This now is just synthetic, so I would not use a curling iron on this. But what you can do is get the fibers warm with the hot air brush and then kind of hold the curl or the wave in place until it cools, and then it will achieve that bend or that loose wave that you're looking for. So let me just show you what I did. I just took it and ran it through. Keep it moving, you're just getting the fibers warm. And then I recreate that little bend that I'm interested in, and I hold it in place like that until it cools. You can see. I also can see that I'm going to need to re-steam. I think it's a very humid day today. It's raining. And when I have this hot air brush on, I think it's also affecting the fibers here by the hairline. So we'll steam that back in place. Yeah, that's getting cooler. So then you can see, then you basically, it holds that shape. Still a little bit warm, so I'll hold it just another minute. Okay. And now I'm going to re-steam this because you can see now it's kind of hanging down, and I want to keep this out of my face a little more. So I'll put her on a blockhead and I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so here she is. You can see it's these layers here in the front that want to just fall forward too much. So I think that's as a result of the hot air brush and it just warm air getting up in there and relaxing that. So I'm gonna clip it in place. I like to give it a little bend there in the front and clip it in place so that, of course, my fingers don't need to be anywhere near the steam. And then I have my steamer here. This is the iSteam steamer. And we'll just go ahead and steam the front hairline here, trying hard not to get too close to the lace front. You can steam the fibers, but try not to steam the lace. I don't believe I've ever had any damage to lace as a result of my steaming, but I have heard that that could happen, so I like to warn you about anything that could cause damage. All right, so I think we've steamed that, and I'm going to let it cool, and I'll put her back on and we'll see what we've got. Okay, so here's the result. I think this is adorable. This is exactly what I was hoping she would look like out of the box, and with just a little tweaking, here we are. So let me show her to you from all sides now that she's a little smoother on this side. Here she is from the right and the back and the left. Just as cute as a button, this little wig. So let me just show you one styling option that I like for this. You could put her in a headband, of course, but what I like to do is I like to take these front pieces, give them a little twist, and just with a simple little barrette, fasten that there. And that is a great way to just go about your day and not be bothered in the slightest, no matter what you're doing. Very cute, very practical, and I'm telling you, it feels amazing. It feels very light. So next, we'll take her outside. Okay, so here we are in the backyard. Thankfully, it stopped raining for just a minute, so I was able to come out and show you this beautiful color in outdoor lighting. Again, it is called Caramel Kiss, and it's described as golden brown with light copper blonde highlights. And so you can see those gorgeous highlights here in the front and on the sides. It's blended very well throughout. It really does look like just a salon fresh color, I think. Wonderful for summer to have that highlighting as well, and I think it's just very pretty. So let's take a look at the lace front. There we go. Well done. And the mono part is very natural looking. So I hope you can see those colors. Let's take a look from all sides. Here she is from the right. And the back. And the left. Just a beautiful color. Okay, so final thoughts. Sage by Estetica is just an absolutely adorable, light, wavy little bob. I can absolutely understand why this is such a popular style, because it is really perfection. If what you're looking for is just a very casual, loose, wavy bob for everyday wear, especially in the summertime, I just think this is wonderful. And my husband definitely gave it a thumbs up as well. He really liked this one on me. So I think I have looked at a lot of bobs recently, actually, and this is definitely up there as one of my favorites. I think it's just really, really pretty, and the waves make it look so natural and comfortable. And the permatease, there is a bit of permatease as we discussed. It gives it just a beautiful amount of body and volume. I have an oval shaped face, and sometimes too much volume can overwhelm my face, I think. But that I don't feel is the case with this one. I think you need a little bit of volume with this style, with these little waves, and you can create more or you can smooth it down a bit, and then you just have this really pretty, flirty little style. So I hope that this has been helpful and informative, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.